Good evening. This is Maestro Cortella with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Codex Edition cast. Today we have a 2v2 on Calderis Refinery. Our first player is Kvek, playing as the Chaos Lord of Khorne. The Chaos Lord of Khorne is kind of like a restyled Chaos Lord, starting out in power armor. You can actually upgrade him back to his power armor to get the Chaos Lord that we all know and love, or don't, from retail and elite. But he's kind of cool in this form too. He's got some spiky shoulder pads. He's got a ridiculous charge ability, which is really, really awesome and probably a little too good. But yeah, this is the Chaos Lord of Khorne. Kvek's teammate is Xolid, playing as the Warphead Weirdboy. The Weirdboy, basically a restyled Weirdboy from retail and elite, now a full-time commander, has a few more upgrades that he can get, but otherwise seems to function mostly the same, but like his abilities are slightly different in just their effect. On the other side, we have Conscript, playing as the Chaos Lord of Nurgle, basically the Plague Champion. Has all the same war gear upgrades that he has in retail and elite. Pretty much the main thing that's different is that he starts out with a chainsword and bolt pistol. He also starts out with some kind of self-heal ability. Basically a Mark of Nurgle kind of thing. And then, finally, we have Brickus, playing as the Senior Epistolary, the Librarian. Again, also previously sub-commander, now full-time hero. Very similar, has Smite, as we saw, as well as some other upgrades and abilities, some pretty nice ones. So yeah, this is a Codex Edition cast. One of the things I've been noticing, based on the comments that people have been, some of the comments that people have been saying, as well as how many views a lot of the Codex Edition videos are getting, is that people want to see Codex Edition. And I have no problem, well, or certainly I don't mind giving people what they want. I like to do that. That being said, there aren't really that many Codex Edition replays going around. I was sent this one, I won't say who just yet, but I was sent this replay, but for the most part I'm not really getting many Codex Edition submissions. I don't play it a whole lot myself either, and I mean there's not really as many people playing, so there just aren't as many things to cast for it. Gabriel Gorguts, the leader of the mod, I believe is going to be releasing a new version of the mod very soon, and one of the things I'm thinking of doing is that when that new version comes out, I will just make some like demonstrational videos of basically just showing the units for all the races. So it looks like Kvek already lost his Chaos Lord of Khorne, I think in that early fight with the Chaos Lord of Nurgle. Looks like Nurgle went out over Khorne that day. We have a grenade going down, so both the tactical CSM squads can actually throw grenades in this game, as can tactical loyalist squads, although Brickus has chosen not to get any of those. He's only gotten these scouts. Now, the Chaos Space Marines start out with these Chaos Cultists. They are the heretics, except they are called cultists because I believe that's what they were actually supposed to be called. In the original Dawn of War, heretics were the builder unit. They were the builder unit, whereas the cultists were more like these. Now, the cultists seem to be really bad from what I can see. They start out with autoguns. They can be upgraded to melee form. They can also still be upgraded to grenade launchers. But in their vanilla form, they seem virtually useless. They're a ranged unit, but they seem to hardly do any damage whatsoever. I mean, if we see these cultists are shooting, and these really seem to barely be doing any damage. So they really seem to be pretty bad, in my opinion. Now, I'm not really an expert on this. For all I know, I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. I think at one point someone said that they're basically just supposed to be fodder. And it looks like one cultist squad may even go down. So, like all these knobs and slugger boys, orcs can actually get knobs in tier 1, and they do that dashing wah like that. So they're probably not quite as strong as retail and elite knobs, but we still get knobs in tier 1. And they're gonna wipe a scout squad from Brickus. So Brickus loses a scout, but he is getting that secondary HQ choice, the Tech Marine squad or the Tech Marine and Servitor squad. Looks like Kvek buys his Chaos Lord back, and now it might be the Chaos Lord of Nurgle who's going to go down, staying in a little too much against knobs. Tried to throw a Blight Grenade. So he upgraded to Blight Grenades. He also upgraded to the Sword of Undeath. Again, he pretty much has the same war gear upgrades from retail and elite, so aside from his starting form, he seems to be very similar to his old form in retail and elite. But we actually see some upgrades going in on this Chaos Lord of Khorne. Ooh, he's got Gore Child. Let's read the description for this. This ancient battle axe of Khorne deals rending damage to all enemies and can tear power armor apart like paper. Greatly enhances melee power, even dealing splash damage to nearby enemy troops, and grants a stacking 6% damage buff that gains momentum with each kill. So wow, it's kind of like the gangbang hammer from Retail and Elite, but with splash damage. Sounds really good, although that's just from reading it. I could be wrong for all I know. Maybe it sucks, but it sounds good, and it probably is. He's also got that brass armor of Khorne, which is something that when I first played the Chaos Lord of Khorne, I kind of got that upgrade and realized how incredibly good it was going to be. It gives him a really incredible charging ability. But we have Havocs from both players, and if we take a look at the Havocs, oh, this one's about to get hit by a grenade. If we take a look at the Havocs, let's take a look at these Havocs from Kvek. They actually start out with double heavy bolters. So double heavy bolters. Although they're getting flanked, they also got hit by a shotgun blast. It actually looks like Kvek is getting doubled, while Brickus is bashing generators. Not Brickus, Xolid. Brickus and Conscript are doubling Kvek. And wow, look at all the flames going in. That's the flames actually from this tactical CSM combat squad that have been upgraded to have a flamer. They have a flamer on their lead model. And we saw the effect of that flamer. At least the visual effect was really, really cool. I mean, look at the visual effect right now. It doesn't seem to be as good as the Retail and Elite Flamers for actually destroying generators, but the visual effect is pretty incredible. And it's also pretty nice, considering I've actually even lowered my settings, because Codex Edition is quite a bit more taxing on my frame rate with all these extra orc boys. So we see that the Weirdboy, his standard attack is not really the same as his standard attack from Retail and Elite. He doesn't have that plasma cannon with knockback. He just seems to have some kind of basic attack, basic range attack. We have Touch of Nurgle, but I don't think it's going to do much if he's not actually moving forward with them. Does not synergize as well with these ranged cultists as well as it does with the melee heretics in Retail and Elite. So that Weirdboy, he has been upgraded to the Frazzle Rod, basically giving him the Zap ability, except Zap is like a lot more powerful. Or rather, it says Frazzle power, and that seems to be basically like Zap from Retail and Elite, except much, much more powerful. Anyway, Chaos Lord charges in. He can basically charge right into or right past suppression with that charge ability, which it does seem like a little too good, but it looks like Kvek might lose his Chaos Lord of Khorne again. And yeah, he does in fact lose his Chaos Lord of Khorne again. I guess he was counting on his tactical CSMs and his Havocs to help him out in that engagement, but it didn't happen. Or at least it wasn't enough. But yeah, we have Havocs, again, two heavy bolters on it, and then some regular bolters as well.
Our temple's dark majesty grows with our power.
So they can get two heavy bolters. They start out with two. The tactical CSM, I believe, can also upgrade to a heavy bolter, but when they do it, they only get one. Here we go again with the visual effect and even suppression from those tactical CSMs. But one of the things that he tried to throw a grenade to get like more kills, but I think one of the things that happened there was that the lead model, the one with the flamer, threw the grenade. So as soon as it threw the grenade, it actually stopped shooting that flamer, which was being incredibly devastating. Now again, look at how little these cultists are doing to these tactical CSMs. And these cultists, they've actually been upgraded to have a leader. I don't remember what this leader is called. It's not an aspiring champion. Basically just a cultist leader. He has a auto pistol and a sword instead of just the auto gun rifle. But yeah, right here we also see, here's that secondary HQ choice, or the Tech Marine and Servitor squad. Those guys are apparently supposed to be servitors, but they look a whole lot more beastly than that, since we've got they're basically just like hooded tactical marines, or just hooded marines with power fist and no sidearm. It actually looks really, really boss. And then you also have the chain sword and bolt pistol ones. But here we go with a Dreadnought. And in fact, big Walker purchases from both blue team players. We have a Dreadnought, Chaos Dreadnought. Starts out with like a bolter instead of that autocannon. It has several upgrades. It can be upgraded to the autocannon, of course, the claw, the Khorne claw, the Zinch missile launcher, and it can also get a las cannon. I mean, look, the range damage was actually pretty nice when that killed a bunch of those Tech Marine retinue members. Here we go with some double Death Dreads as well. Looks like they both have burners and bits. And we also have autocannons now upgraded on Conscript's Havoc squad. Looks like they are going to get hit by a special attack from that Dreadnought. Yeah, I think the blue team is going to win this engagement. Well, we see the tactical CSMs, they've been upgraded to have an aspiring champion leader. He's the one with the sword and the bolt pistol. They also have a plasma gun. Now, Kvek is pushing forward, and he's about to lose that Dreadnought very quickly. I don't know if that was all from the Havoc. He doesn't even know, and he loses his Chaos Lord again. Now over here we have some Def Dreads, burning generators, and here we go with, here's that Tech Marine and Servitor squad. They now have upgraded to plasma cannons, and they get 2 of them, which is really, really awesome. And the other guys, the ones with no sidearm are just kind of spotting and pointing at things with their hands. Kvek is saying apparently that the Bile Spewer from these Plague Marines is OP. I actually really want to see that then. But we have Plague Marines here from Conscript. They've actually been upgraded to have a Bile Spewer rather than a rocket launcher. Now the Plague Marines are actually exclusive to the Chaos Lord of Nurgle. And each Chaos Hero has an exclusive Tier 2 unit. For the Chaos Lord of Nurgle, it's these Plague Marines. For the Chaos Lord of Khorne, it's Khorne Berserkers. And then for the Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch, it is Rubric Marines. So we see those double plasma cannon shots doing very, very well. And Conscript was saying that the Plague Marines are overpowered. I didn't even see anything out of them. But yeah, these Def Dreads just charging in on that Havoc with the double autocannon. So double autocannon Havoc. They've got the Havocs always get 2 heavy weapons. So they've got two autocannon models right here. 2 autocannon models. Now on Kvek's side, he had those tactical CSM with their plasma gun. He's also gotten the chosen CSM combat squad. These chosen CSM they're basically supposed to be like upgraded Chaos Space Marines. They're supposed to be like better Chaos Space Marines. They don't have the horns, and they have an aspiring champion leader who has a plasma pistol as well as a sword. They're supposed to be better. Presumably they are. They better be, since they're more expensive than regular Chaos Space Marines. They have the power cost. It's something like 550 requisition and 30 power. All the costs are a bit adjusted. They're also upgrading to get plasma guns as well. So he wants that heavy anti-infantry firepower. Now if we look there, some of them got plasma guns. Some of them also got twin-linked bolters. And wow. So Conscript nearly losing some of those tactical CSMs. I wanted to see what these Plague Marines would do, although it seems like Conscript is just choosing not to use them because Kvek said they're overpowered. I wanted to see it. And oh, actually they did. I think actually they were shooting at the Chaos Lord, and that might have been what killed the Chaos Lord. I think that was the Bile Spewer. But this was a 1,000-point VP game, and if it were a 500-point VP game, Kvek and Xolid would have already won. Here we go. I want to see more from those. And we even have a 5-man scout squad, so that means they have been upgraded to have a sergeant. And we have a Assault Terminator veteran squad. They're supposed to be veterans. They have those Thunderhammers. They have a long-ass description for their Thunderhammers, and they're going to start going after the The Death Dreads may be able to take one of them out. Cult is going way too forward. They activate Touch of Nurgle, but it really doesn't seem to work out that well for them in Codex Edition. And here we go with a Rocks. And I think this second Death Dread might just get taken out too. Nope, it charges out of there. Assault Terminators even upgrading to get their Assault Terminator Veteran Sergeant, so they can even get a Sergeant, an expensive Sergeant upgrade. Well, maybe not that much. All the costs have been adjusted. But yeah, let's take a look at that Veteran Sergeant. So look at these Terminator models. The Veteran Sergeant, he's got some kind of laser pointer on his eye, as well as that that little standard thing above him. So Chaos Lord of Nurgle has to get out of there. He has been upgraded. Fully upgraded, but all regular warriors from Retail and Elite that kind of function very similarly. These Assault Terminator variant, they teleport aggressively. Here we go with a Chaos Lord of Khorne. Everything's getting knocked over by those plasma cannons. And the Chaos Lord of Khorne has been fully upgraded now. He actually switched out that axe. Now has the Blood Maul. And he also got the Icon of Wrath, not the Icon of... Whoa! So apparently he can knock over Terminators with the Blood Maul. Icon of Wrath will spur nearby allies into a frenzy, greatly increasing their chance to special attacks. And we also have a weapon upgrade on the Senior Epistolary. Now he's got quite a few upgrades. He's got the Avenger, that's the weapon, giving him a fireball attack. And there the Chaos Lord goes down again. And we also have the Vortex of Doom. I've seen that before. It basically gives him an ability, a singularity ability. So you can have your Senior Epistolary cast singularities. We also have some grenade launchers on the Chaos Cultists right now. I kind of like to do that to make them actually do something. And, oh, we have the War Boss Squad, or the Mega Armored Knobs. It's just a squad full of War Bosses. And here we have just a big-ass engagement where I'm not going to be able to really understand what's going on. Looks like Terminators are in a little bit of trouble. They're getting completely overwhelmed by Knobs, Mega Armored Knobs. They teleport out of there, need to get the hell out of there. And we also have... There was that singularity from the Senior Epistolary, as well as the Foot of Gork right here. And we have this Chaos Predator upgraded with Predator las cannons. No, this Predator, it actually has... Wait a minute. So it has a las cannon on top. And we just have a lot of things going on right over there. I can't even tell anymore. We had a Cultist squad that went down despite getting reinforced from the teleporter relay beacon. But it was just taking too many shots. We have another Cultist squad. But here's an orbital bombardment. And I think probably going to take out this Havoc squad. This Havoc squad is screwed. Oh. Yeah, so there's a Havoc squad down for... Who's that down for? That's down for Kvek. So Kvek lost to Havoc.
Let the Chaos Legions march from the Eye of Terror.
Brickus apparently lost the Scout, and he changed the weapons on his secondary HQ choice. They've got black backpacks. But they've switched out their plasma cannons for multi-meltas. I'm not sure why he did that. It really seemed like those plasma cannons were doing an awesome job. But here we go. The Flames doing quite wonderfully against those Chaos Cultists. The effect is incredible, actually. Kvek is promising an Abyss. So we have that Chosen CSM squad as well as the regular tactical. The Chosen CSM squad They can apparently throw grenades too. Actually, I think they might be able to throw a melta. But here we have another engagement going down right here. Something in the back. Oh, there's another one of those singularities from the senior epistolary. Open wide the Abyss of Chaos, so we have an Imperial Abyss happening right here. I think it killed one squad. And actually, if we take a look at this Chaos Predator, it now also has las cannons on the sponsons in addition to it being on the turret. Yep, says las cannon sponsons. Replace the sponson heavy vultures with las cannons. Chaos Terminators now for Conscript. No, for Kvek. My mistake. Start with 4 members. Start out with those twin link bolters. And we also have flash kits. Oh, I didn't see these flash kits coming out right here. Seems like they have big shooters. And 5 of them. Shooting. A lot of things dying. And the Chaos Lord is down again, along with the Weirdboy. Now, he still stands up when he's dead or incapacitated. And here we go with another orbital bombardment. The cooldown on that must not be very long. But Brickus hasn't lost that much. He just never really built much. He's only got... Wow, and he's got... It seems like he changed the weapon upgrade for his Tech Marine and Servitors yet again.
You are losing us a victory.
They have heavy melee weapons. Equip the combat servitors with implanted chain fists and electro flails. Heavy melee weapons that greatly increase their... Now, I don't know. It says... I mean, this is now an upgrade, but it looks like what they had originally. I don't know if these are even better melee weapons, but looks like the way they were originally. I like them with those plasma cannons. But it was definitely blue team for most of the game, and I mean, if this were a 500 point VP game, they would have already won. But now the red team has kind of holed up in middle. I think a bit having to do with this teleporter relay beacon, as well as a Chaos Shrine of Nurgle. So a lot of reinforcement as well as healing. I would like to see Brickus get units. And now we have a battle wagon out for Xolid. It's got 4 lines on the side. Now, those lines, back in retail, they indicated how many squads you had inside. And if this functions like the way it does in retail, you needed to put that many squads inside to get the full functionality out of the battle wagon. In Elite, that was changed so that I believe you only need to put 1 squad in it in Elite mod. I think that was probably the reason why the battle wagon wasn't so good in retail, because you had to put like 4 units inside of it just to get it to reach its full potential. Anyway, right here we see this battle wagon driving around, kind of driving into a wall and not doing much. Meanwhile, over here, the Mega Armored Knobs, the Warboss Squad. Let's just get another look at that Warboss Squad. So that's just... It's like a Warboss Squad. They get forced off. They are isolated, even though they seem really, really powerful. It looks like this battle wagon already at about half health. Kind of just took some Blood Crusher hits. Also took some hits from the Chaos Lord. The Chaos Predator. So, and now the battle wagon is going to take... And here we go with another Rocks. How many... Already another Rocks. And there we go. The battle wagon already goes down. Here we go. Is this going to be just a singularity or some kind of drop pod? Or yeah, I like to see that. So it looks like we have Stern Guard veterans coming out of there. A foot of Gork. And there's that ability from the Warphead Weirdboy. Actually goes to... There we go. There's the Chaos Lord of Khorne disrupting those Terminators again. apparently a new Havoc squad coming out from Conscript. He's nearly pop-capped. And Brickus is somehow at 81 population with, like, barely any units. I don't know how that is. I mean, he's getting Vanguards. Already has Stern Guards, as well as Terminators. These are units that probably take up a lot of population. Certainly the Assault Terminators, and they even have a Sergeant. Here go the Plague Marines. Let's see them shoot the Conscript with the Bow Spewer, please. Please. I want to see that. I want to see that overpowered Bow Spewer. Can we see the Bow Spewer? Oh, Plague Marines. I think he's just letting the Plague Marines die because he wants to replace them with something else. And Kvek said they're overpowered. Here we go with a lot of stuff. Yeah, so Conscript just suicided his Plague Marines. Here we go with another Abyss. And Conscript just lost a bunch of stuff. He's getting new cultists. I don't think he should do that. They really seem like garbage. But now we got some... I don't know why it won't let me select them. We got Chaos Terminators with Lightning Claws. We got new Chaos Terminators. And they are getting a Chaos Terminator champion. So let's see if we can take a look at them. Maybe take a look at their champion. That champion, does he even look any different? He actually does not really look like he's any different. But just giving them an extra model. Looted tank for Xolid. Oh! Looted tank just got fucked up. That looted tank is going to die because, I mean, it looked like that Chaos Predator just hit it for like 75%. 75%. Another Imperial Abyss. Why not? And we got Flash Kits. They have... It says Blastier. But it actually looks like the special shooters, the shotguns. Oh, where are those Ludas? I want to see the Ludas. I remember liking those guys a lot. But Vanguard Veterans, now with Lightning Claws. Equips the Vanguard Veterans with Lightning Claws. Greatly enhances the melee damage output of this already formidable squad. Formidable or formidable? I don't know. Yeah, they've got some Lightning Claws on a bunch of models. Looks like basically on all the models except for the Thunderhammer. And here we've got double autocannon Terminators. I wonder what kind of nasty things they would do to this Predator, if they would. We also have a Plague Champion or a Chaos Lord of Nurgle using the Plague Fist, stunning a bunch of those units. The Chaos Lord of Nurgle actually seems to be walking very quickly. Yeah, I thought those Terminators would actually just start tearing up the Chaos Predator. But they're going for the Havocs instead. Looks like we have a Plague Cloud. And a Havoc went down for Conscript. He's another Abyss right on top of the Shrine. That does not really seem to be a great use of an Abyss. And if he doesn't even have the Shrine in the center, he's not going to, in the center rings, he might not even kill it. There'll be a lot of different things happening right now. Null Zone. Wow. So we take a look at Null Zone, a Psychic Hood that greatly unlocks the Null Zone of power, which drains energy and disorients them for a bit. Looks like we have some new Plague Marines. These do not have a Bile Spewer. They just have bolters right now. Instead of the icon of Nurgle, actually the Chaos Lord. So apparently it does have a different warrior for this. It says, projects an aura of disease and hopelessness as the inevitability of death and decay pervades the minds of all those who draw near. Adds an aura that heals allies while draining the life from nearby enemies. And this is a level 10 Chaos Lord of Nurgle, a lot of health. Meanwhile, the Chaos Lord of Khorne, level 4 and dead. Warphead Weirdboy, level 9. Conscript. Brickus even has a level 9 senior epistolary. I swear Brickus needs to get more units. Apparently he lost his original Terminators, so he's getting some new Assault Terminators. Phobos building for Kvek. And he even lost his chosen CSM squad. So he's only got these guys right here, but they look pretty cool. Foot of Gork on that Havoc, or yeah, that Havoc. Will it kill it? Oh, I like that knockback and retreat. But my god, that is a huge Orc-Wa. Vanguard's jumping in. We have maybe another Singularity-like ability. Oh no, that's the other ability. I think that's the Null Zone. But the Vanguards, I think, are going to get like, messed up. And even these Assault Terminators are just going into too much stuff. Whoa, there's the Singularity, just taking everything in. And the senior epistolary is just shooting fireballs from afar now. It just looks like a bunch of orcs here. Who are they fighting? Looks like we're gonna have Assault Terminators dying again. I didn't even see the first one go down, but this one is not gonna make it out of there alive. Brick is sending lone squads into whole blobs. Here we have a Land Raider Phobos from Kvek, but it's going away from the action. And it looks like Xolid is now losing most of his units. Predator charges in. Wow, Xolid just lost like everything. He just lost every squad almost every squad he had. I don't even know how. Something exploded. How did what happened? Bunch of heroes dead. Xolid needs to buy units. So does Brickus. So does Conscript. And they have so much red. Probably just because so many things die. Here's another Rocks. Why not? Like on like one unit, but it's gonna kill them. It's gonna kill these Sternguard veterans, I think. They just might get lucky and not die. And they're just standing there. They're gonna die anyway to like follow fire. Here's an orbital bombardment. The Land Raider Phobos is still there, not driving out of it. That's gonna be a dead Land Raider Phobos, maybe? No. Alright, it gets out of there. But the Predator's chasing and the Predator kills it. Oh my god, how much damage does this Predator do per shot? And here we have Plague Marines with the missile launcher. They're about to die too. And so we have massive resource floats from a bunch of guys. Xolid chose to get more regular knobs when he could get more mega armored knobs. He's got enough resources to buy a lot of stuff. He's queuing up a lot of different things because he just spent a lot of resources. And these Havocs are not suppressing the mega armored knobs. Maybe you can only get one mega armored knob squad. Double Imperial Abysses. What the hell? Where's the Chaos Lord? Oh, no, no. Oh, so Kvek actually did upgrade to get the regular Chaos Lord armor, or the Chaos Lord armor as we know it from Retail and Elite. I was confused why his cultists are now in the hero slot, but that's also what happens when you get Terminator armor for the Force Commander. Basically, you just switch the unit. So yeah, now we have that regular Terminator Chaos Lord that we all know and love, or don't. And switching weapons on these guys again. Switching back to melee. He had plasma. You know what? I think the weapon switching, the weapons might actually be, it might actually be free to switch weapons on this secondary HQ choice, since it actually functions a bit like a hero in the upgrades. So I think it's actually free to switch. So that might be why he's switching a lot. But I really like the plasma cannons. Those seem to do really well. So. And again, I'm worried here about Brickus sending too many of his units. And we see this guy, the Senior Epistolary, is doing something. Another Singularity type ability right there. And he's shooting his fireballs. Cult is doing nothing. And triple cap for the blue team. They might close it out. And a rocks, why not? Again, just so much red these guys are getting. Both Conscript and Brickus could use another nuke each. But here's this Chaos Lord of Khorne. There's the charge again, charging right through some retreating units. The Chaos Lord of Khorne just dies. This Chaos Lord has died so many times in both of his forms. But it looks like the game just might end right around here. 1-to-1 cap, 552 to 5. Something just got straight up wiped. We have a new relay beacon going up by this Tech Marine and Servitor squad. They're going to get reinforced. Here's another orbital bombardment. Ooh, that is nice and juicy. Let's see what that kills. A bunch of Xolid's units. I think Xolid and Kvek are actually having trouble like fighting back and stuff. But luckily for them, Conscript and Brickus seem to be concentrating a little too much up top, and this is Kvek's chance to capture this. They activate, I believe, the Mark of Khorne ability on them, and that should be enough to win the game for them. And meanwhile, we actually have a Vindicator out for Conscript, but I think the game's just about to end. So the blue team take it. Long-ass game, in part because of the VP settings. But yeah, so that is the Codex Edition cast. New version coming out soon. I'll do some demonstrational videos. This replay was sent to me by Kvek, and of course he wanted to. Hope you enjoyed the cast.